So tell me what your biggest challenges are right now. We'll start with you.
Specifically in my market, Compass has been the most interesting factor for us.
Okay.
That and the iBuyer model.
Yep.
Obviously, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's a very, very hot market for the instant offer. So that's become a very interesting conversation for us. We've had to work very, very hard to make sure that we are clear on what our value is and really teach our agents to understand who they are in this process.
Right, right. So us getting into the iBuyer business and coming straight to Dallas here next month, is that going to help?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, big time. It already has. My agents are already texting me. We're already having a conversation. And that was just, I was having a conversation with a team leader last night, and that was basically what we were talking about was the value of what Keller offers is just simply this. Talk to your current brokerage right now. What is their response to Zillow Instant Offers? What is their response to Redfin? What's their response to OfferPad, et cetera?
That's right.
Bottom line is, we just partnered in a big way to go back and go, here we go, we have an answer. And it's been the hardest part probably as a team leader, is that we haven't had the answer.
Right.
Because the agents are like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Boom, here we go.
Well, if we don't take advantage of our scale, and that's all you see us doing as an organization, is asking the question as a company, the success of our owners has created a scale. What can we do with that scale? And we should use it as a wrecking ball on the industry, right? A free mortgage is a wrecking ball in the industry. Coming back and with the Keller offers, being able to get our agents as much commission as possible. But the ability to run a Facebook ad that says, we'll buy your home.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So now, so soon, next month, every agent in that area will be able to say, once they get qualified and approved to offer the program, can run those ads.
Yeah, it's like all these.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's like it's all wedging the agent back to the center of the transaction.
Yeah.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that's right. John, how about you? What are your challenges right now?
Well, I think the biggest challenge that I see, Gary, I would say that being a team leader is a lot like running a mega team, which I did for 15 years before I became a team leader. And I understand E2P really well and went through it as a real estate agent, went through it as a leader of a mega team, and have gone through it as a team leader as well. And one of the things that I've discovered is market centers go through E2P. And
Yes, we do.
yeah, and
Yes, we do.
in 4 years we had great gross numbers and net numbers in 2016, and then 2017 was a challenge, and we moved some people around, got the right people on the team, made some changes, and my biggest aha in that process was your executive leadership team is part of the wall of value. And when you get the right team, you're in a rocket ship, and the sky is the limit. And then in 2018, we just took off again, and we had amazing growth.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and now we're back to working on fixing a few pieces and making sure that we've got all the right players in all the right positions, and we're just experiencing breakdowns and breakthroughs.
I like that. Cheryl, how about you?
I think our greatest challenge is letting our agents know that a shift is coming. Because right now they're just selling houses left and right, and we have a lot of agents, at least with us, who've never been part of a shift. They don't know what that's like.
That's right.
And so I think our greatest challenge is to let them know this is coming. I've been through shifts. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And so just getting them to realize, and they'll go, Michelle, we're looking at the numbers and the interest rates are low. What are you talking about? A shift is coming. And we just saw yesterday they were talking about recessions right on the horizon. And then
They're talking about it more and more.
yeah,
That's right.
and we watched what happened with the market. And so
That's exactly right.
I think in addition to that, getting them to realize the biggest shift out there is the tech shift. And I think they're starting to see it. I mean, when I pull some of the numbers of some of these other companies out there, they're going, holy cow, they really made that much of a dent. I said, yeah, we need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the question I really want to ask, and that is from your position as superb team leaders. How do you, in your own words, how do you build an incredible market center in terms of agent count and profitability? Because all three of you have really just, honestly, I mean, You've succeeded at a very high level.
Thank you.
What do you think? What's the secret? If I were a team leader and you were talking to me today, and I said, man, I want to be you, or at least I want to get to where you are. How do I do that?
I think it started with vision first.
Okay.
That was the first thing that came up in 2016. I was working with Smokey and my MAPS coach, Brian Martin. Shout out. And what we planned is a vision to constantly push way beyond. And the main thing was focused on centered around agent GCI and their earnings and the way an agent makes money so they can fund their lives. And so that vision was very clear. We have driven that vision home. For anyone who knows me, you know, I have other team leaders that can tell me my vision. So it's been something that's very, very important. And so it's created the why are we here and why are we pushing? So why are we talking about technology? Why are we talking about staying current in the market? Why are we doing all the things we're doing? Because it matters about your money and your lives. So I would say vision first.
Is that what you say? Is that the answer?
Yeah.
Because it matters about your money and your lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's vision first, and then the next thing is we had to attract talented people to our leadership team, just like John was saying, to that vision to come be a part of this process with us. And that was the key thing. It made us very aware that we had to have leaders in every role. We had some employees and we had some leaders, and our leaders stepped up in a big way.
Yeah, there are no throwaway positions, are there?
No.
When you have a team, there's no throwaway position. Everybody needs to be a rock star at their position.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all leading and they're in creating value for our agents in some way.
Well, it's the law of the weakest link. So whoever your weakest link is going to define your team.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we attached
A lot of
the
people don't
team
understand
leader to
that. A lot of market centers and team leaders don't understand that. They have a good employee, and good is the enemy of great. And what they don't realize is that the difference between the person they have, or the behavior or the performance that they're currently getting, and the poor performance that they could get, whether they help that person grow or help them find another career path, could be the difference between 20 to 50 agents. It really can be that much difference, by the way.
Yeah, it's a lid. It just really is going to hold you back until you've upgraded or top graded in that position.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So what do you say, John? If I'm a team leader and you're coaching me or talking to me about, I want to be John. I want to, at least at the very minimum, get to the level where you are. How do I get to that level? What are the handful of things that I got to do?
I think you got to answer 3 questions.
Okay.
And it starts with your people need to know that you love them. It's critically important that you can convey that you care. If I'm meeting with you, Gary, and you're talking about being a part of our team, and we run it like a team, it's critically important that you get that I care about you.
Yes.
That you understand that you can trust me, and that you believe that I can help you. You know, one of the things that I learned from Linda McKissick is that we attract talent with validity. We bring value over time. And as long as we have those 3 things, then we're going to attract talented people into our life. And then I think once people buy into you, once they buy into you as a leader, they'll buy into your vision. And the very first meeting we had way back in 2015 when I started as a team leader, I guess it wasn't that long ago, 4 years ago, when I started as a team leader, we had 61 agents in the office at the time. And out of 32 market centers in the South Florida region, we were number 32. And I drew a triangle on the whiteboard and I said, this is where we're at right now. Here's where we're going. And it was way over here. And I said, now we're on a journey with a destination that is assured. And you guys have to understand what this means is we're going to become the #1 market center in our region. We're on a journey with a destination that is assured, which means we're already there. You have to get outside of time and look at time the way God looks at time. And when you can look at things that way, you're already there. All you have to do now is complete the journey. And when you're on a journey like that, you're going to run into obstacles. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be speed bumps. And the challenge with most people is when they run into those roadblocks, they turn around. And the tragedy is not that we fail, it's that we almost succeed, and there we are. And when I took that role, and back in 2015, I didn't know that the first roadblock that I was going to hit was 8 days later, my 13-year-old daughter was going to be diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. 8 days after I accepted the role. And that same year, while she was in the hospital going through treatment, we grew the market center by net 89. And we've grown from 61 to 320 today, and from 160,000 profit back in 2015 to $1 million today.
Pretty amazing.
But you know, Angie Andrews says that adversity is preparation for greatness, right?
Yeah.
And I've just been blessed with a lot of adversity.
I hear that. Michelle, what do you think? What are you going to tell me?
Well, I think really help grow our market centers, it started with culture. You had to have a really firm foundation with culture. And then from there, I'd put 3 tactics under that. I would say then we focused on growth, we focused on productivity, and we focused on profit share. And if you wrap all that up and really hyper-focus in those areas, you can do some amazing things. I think another thing that was really critical that I learned as a team leader, because we started out at 110 agents, and we're now at 329. And what I realized is who I was as a leader at 110 agents and who I am as a leader now is very different. And leadership is an inside job, and all team leaders need to know we are the lid of our market center. We always have to keep growing ourselves so we can grow our people and take them to the next level.
Yeah, that's right. When you say that foundation of culture, what do you mean? I'm just curious.
The Y4C2Ts, the predetermined way we treat one another, and also a big part of culture is productivity and having a life worth living. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts that I came from 2 other franchises, and the biggest aha I had was how much KW changes people's lives. And I think if you can get that across in the culture and you make that just, and anytime I know when my office gets a little wonky, the first thing I look at is culture. Where are we? You know, are we serving our people the way we said we would?
I love that. So, just out of curiosity, mistakes. What's been the biggest mistake that you've made? Okay, I'm going to rephrase the question. Hang on, I'm going to rephrase the question. And that is, what is the biggest mistake you see from your peers in trying to build a big business? It doesn't even have to be Keller Williams. It could be your competition. But from a leadership standpoint, from a team leadership position standpoint, what do you think the biggest mistake that you see that's made?
I think we confuse loyalty in business settings. I even use this as a recruiting conversation when a Cap or a Mega is talking to me about whether or not they want to join Keller Williams. And I tell them, listen, they're like, well, I love my broker. And I'm like, fantastic. You should love your broker. How does that impact your business? Like, I want to set aside your business loyalty and personal loyalty for 2 separate things. Business loyalty is a barter of services. You bring this, I bring this. When both of those things come together, we both live productive lives, and then we can have personal loyalty out of it. And I think that's what happens, that most team leaders end up in the same situation, is we are loyal to a staff member. We are loyal to an agent. We are loyal to people that we know are not helping us get to where we need to go, and they are creating the limitations. And I think it's a very interesting conversation right now, because we're going to experience a lot of change. And we are adapting as an industry, specifically as a company, very, very quickly. And no matter what, we have to get there. And I think that's the biggest challenge, that's been the biggest mistakes, is I didn't move quickly enough on replacing and top grading a position, and giving people too much time to adapt to the change when they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. John, what do you think?
Well, I'd like to answer the first question you asked, which is the biggest mistake that I've made.
Yeah.
I immediately had an answer. In 4 years of being in this role, I realized recently within the last 16 months, that we were grossing 14 every month. We were always hitting our 210/40 numbers. We're building profit. We're growing. We're creating this incredible market center with incredible energy. It's just a really cool place to be. And my biggest aha was also that I was trying to do everything. And we were not going to break through the next ceiling until I was willing to be a great leader and not just a great doer. And I think one of the mistakes that we make as team leaders is we're so caught up in doing that we forget that our job is to be a leader. So what we've done in the last 6 months is we've created a growth team. It is working. We're crushing it. Actually, I was really excited because I wanted to...
And what is a growth team?
Yeah, good question. So a growth team can be a lot of different things. Your executive leadership team can be a part of your growth team. And I also went to my ALC, and I painted a picture for them of what this opportunity looked like. And I asked each of them, where do you want your life to be 5 years from now? And now we're just really going to talk about passive income, not where do you want to be a couple months from now. And that's one of the mistakes we make with passive income is we judge it based on a short-term result versus looking at long-term results. And I painted a picture for them that included earning $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month in profit share. And I said, here's how you can do it. I want you to get on my team, same thing as if I was a mega agent and I'm bringing in listing partners. I want you to be a part of my team, and I'm gonna only focus on cappers and megas now, and I'm gonna turn everything else over to you. And we're gonna continue to hit our numbers, and in order for us to do that, you're gonna have to hit your numbers on those appointments and recruits. And it took some time, but we met every single week. And we talked about what are your challenges, how can I help you, let's role play phone calls, let's role play a recruiting appointment, tell me what kind of objections you're hearing. And really, Gary, it was really interesting because it was nothing. And then all of a sudden, 5 recruits in 1 week. And then 4 the next week. And I'm like, holy cow, this is working. And today is Thursday, so they've brought in 7 while I'm here this week.
Now, let me just say that's what the ALC was all about.
Yeah.
In the end. Yeah. What you're doing is exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah, love that. Thank you.
I think developing, for me, my greatest mistake, there was quite a few of them, I had to think which one to really point out, but developing our people. I think it was so easy to get caught up, like John said, we're growing the market center, and I had to look back and I was like, wait a second, I got to bring all these people with me. Not only, our leadership team, but also our agents as well. And I think it's just really important, and something you said to us this year when you met with all the team leaders, you said sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And I had to make some of those changes. I already knew that. For example, I went, okay, when I got back from some of your sessions, I decided to go ahead and hire a tech coach. Just some of the things that I need to do to change so I can help my team keep pace of what's going on. And just pouring into them and then making sure you have the right people on the boat with you.
Love it. So I'll ask you one last question then. If you were going to give us just one piece of advice, right, to kickstart and get our business to the next level right now, what would you tell me to go do?
Find smarter people than you.
Okay.
Team leaders, I lead a team leader mastermind sometimes for our region, and the thing that comes up is all my team leaders, we tend to try to do everything, kind of the E to P. We try to do everything, and what I've been fortunate enough is to surround myself. I'm not good at a lot of things, but what I'm good at getting smarter people than me around me.
Right.
And my team is amazing, and they do way more than I ever could even imagine gets done. In fact, so the joke has become, if you ask me what goes on in my market center, my answer is, I don't know, go ask them.
Yeah.
And I'm actually proud to wear it. At first I was embarrassed, but I'm actually proud to say that.
Sure.
And because I trust my people to do what they do, so I can do what I do.
Yeah, expect greatness, get greatness.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, if your mantra among your leadership team of the market center was, we deliver greatness,
Well,
and how will we measure greatness?
Yeah.
And get your people involved in behaving in a manner that grows greatness by delivering greatness, the world changes.
You bet.
The world changes.
Well, and that's something you talk about a lot, is about being a thought leader.
Yes.
And what I've added to that, because I've paid attention to you and even Smokey Garrett, my OP, is you guys are thought provokers.
Okay.
So it's not just a thought leader of I'm saying cool stuff. It's when you have a challenging thought in the way that you think about it, I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to poke at that, not in a rude way,
Yep.
but just to make you develop that thought a little bit, so that way you realize, oh man, because that's what always happens. You always end up walking away going, wait a minute, that's not the right thing. And I think that's the bigger challenge of, if we are thought provokers for our agents, for our leadership teams,
Yes.
then we continue to push the lid higher on our organization so we stop getting stuck.
Well, what I hear from all three of you is ask a bigger question. If you want to grow a bigger business, ask a bigger question of your business, and then engage your people to help you answer that big question, right? John, how about you?
I had two that I really liked, so I'm going to stick with one, and that's who you're in business with matters. Be intentional about the people that you choose to get in business with. When I first got into real estate in 2002, I partnered with Gary and Nikki Ubaldini because they were the #1 real estate agents in our market, and I wanted to build the #1 business. And because I'm a student, I realized that the best way for me to become the #1 real estate agent in our market was to learn from #1. When I became a team leader in 2015, the reason that I partnered with Alan Waxman and to become the team leader in Coral Springs and move south when I was really trying to move north and get out of the state of Florida was because he was a top team leader in this company, the only Hall of Fame team leader in the South Florida region, and I realized this guy's going to give me the opportunity to become the best team leader in this company, and if I'm going to do this, I absolutely want to be the best. And then it's important who you surround yourself with. So get into business with great people and pay attention to who's in your inner circle.
Yeah.
And if the people in your inner circle don't go to work every day working hard to make your life better, then you've got the wrong people in your inner circle.
That's right.
Because they belong on the outside of the circle, because those people are using you to make their life better.
That's right.
And you want to get into business with people, Gary, every day that come to work with one goal, and that's to make your life better.
I agree. Michelle, last thought.
Yeah, very much. I mean, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah.
And I've really grown to learn that. And there's so much opportunity with Keller Williams. You get surrounded by great people. I mean, we've got team leaders out here who are doing amazing podcasts just to make you think bigger.
Oh, yeah.
You've got so many people who want to pour into you. You're just surrounded by that. And so make sure you're not the smartest person in the room. Make sure you're continuing to grow yourself. And I'll tell you, I think with the technology, with the culture, we have an opportunity just to blow the lid off. And I just think,
We do.
and we just need to go all in and make that happen.
I think we do. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You're very inspiring. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks so much. Yes, thank you, Daryl. Yep. You guys are awesome. Very inspiring. All right, next group, come on out.